thought we could all use some really useful everyday cards in our stash. I know I definitely can. Like when someone's birthday comes up and it's not a holiday, it's just a plain birthday, I can still always use some more cards. So I thought these would be super useful for everyone, and I tried to use a lot of cool dimension on these. Like for these all caps letters here, they are all like 4 to 5 layers thick each of paper. So it adds a lot of nice dimension. So not only can you use pop dots and everything to add dimension, but the letters are definitely dimensional. So another cool thing about these letters is that I went in and I made all of the letters cut as smoothly as possible. Like I pretty much took out all of the sharp edges, so when your cutting machine is going around a corner, it goes around a lot smoother than if it was a real sharp edge, and then sometimes the paper kind of gets stuck, but I took care of that and I made these cut out really nicely, so I think you'll like that. So you might have noticed that a lot of these cards have this nice scalloped shape, like various versions of this nice scalloped shape. And that has been kind of popular right now for a little while, and it's still really cute, I think. So I think we should all love it and enjoy it while it's still popular because it looks really nice. So with each of these cards, I wanted the design to be pretty simple, but also interesting and just look really nice in like a simple yet elegant kind of way. So I did some funky things, like we've got our buttons kind of showing through the opening of this card, which is fun, you could use for anything. And I forgot to glue it on the back, but this one comes with a shape just like this that you can glue onto the back to write on. So just 2 more useful cards here using some scallop shapes, and this one is shaped like a tag actually. So again, super useful but cute. You can definitely use this with any kind of paper that goes with whatever person you're making this for. So this one would definitely work for a guy, or you could add, you know, some kind of little die cut to it if you wanted to give it a theme or something. But that should be useful. Also, I know I can always use little thank you cards for nice random things that people do for me, or for, you know, after my birthday or something. So this one's cool. I tied some raffia on there, which is kind of wild and crazy, which I think raffia is kind of supposed to be a little wild and crazy. So that is fun. So finally, we've got our cute little party card, which is shaped like a box, and it folds flat to go in its envelope, and it is also A2 sized, because all of these cards are A2 sized, which means they are 5.5 by 4 1/4. So they all use the same envelope too, which is also called an A2 envelope. So this one is really fun because it's 3-dimensional, but it also folds flat. Super easy to make. You could also make it without the party in here and give it your own twist, whatever that may be. So this one I'm going to show you how it goes together, even though it's so easy. So you'll see that. And then finally we've got some boxes that fit these A2 size cards so that you can give cards as a gift. Like let's say for someone's birthday or something, you wanted to make them a whole bunch of cards that they could use to give to other people. You could put them in a nice box that fits perfectly the cards. And I like this little cutout here, so you can really grab the box and pull it apart. So this one is 1.5 inches tall, and this one is 2.5 inches tall. I don't know exactly how many cards are going to fit because it really depends on how embellished they are and how thick your paper is and everything. But you get 2 different heights to choose from. They go together the same way. I really wanted to embellish the front of it, but the paper is so cute, I just wanted to keep it simple and just show you that it works with your cards perfectly. So the paper that I used, I think, is probably among my top 5 all-time favorite papers. It's really cool. It's by October Afternoon, and it's called Farmhouse. And I got mine at 2peasinabucket.com, but I'm sure they sell it other places too. And it just has a cool vintage look to it. It kind of looks like some crochet stuff and just all kinds of cool patterns and just really kind of unexpected things like these rulers, and really fun to work with. I loved it. Would work well for a lot of different projects, but obviously for these cards you can use all kinds of different papers. It also came with some of these really cool stickers and some rub-ons, which I didn't use because I didn't want you guys to get confused and think that some of these die cuts came with your download, but that's going to be fun to play with. I also used buttons that coordinated. So like I always say, it really helps to use paper that coordinates because it just is going to look good no matter what you throw together usually. So I've got my pieces cut out for the two things I'm going to show you. So let's sit down and get started. So here's my cool three-dimensional party card. And like I was saying, it folds flat. Really either way is fine. And it goes right into your A2 sized envelope. So this one is super easy to put together. The base part of it is just one piece, and it just folds around and gets glued right here. So I'm just going to put a line of glue right here and just fold it into place and hold it while it dries. And then you can go ahead and glue your pink frame on and your letters. Before you glue the frame on, it's got two little holes here which you can tie your twine or your embroidery floss through. So like I was saying too, it also comes in your extras folder. It comes with this little frame without the word party here, so you can use it for really anything. So here is the bottom of my shorter box, and all of the box pieces go together the same way. So the bottom of this one is pretty much the same as the bottom of the other one, which is the same as the lid. So I'm just going to show you how this goes together. I've got my four pieces here, the two side pieces, and I've got two rectangles. One is a little bit bigger, it's the bottom. The other is a little bit smaller, and it is the liner. First, I'm going to start by putting glue on just one of these tabs on one of the side pieces here. And I'm going to glue it to the other one. And just hold that in place while it dries. Make sure you line it up as nice as possible. And then I'm just going to close the loop here by doing the same thing, putting some glue on the other tab. And just gluing that in place the same way. And hold it while it dries a little bit, line it up real nice. And next, as you can see, on one side I've got short tabs, on the other side I've got long tabs. First, let's take the long tabs and let's glue those down. Those are just for reinforcement on all four sides of the box. So all four of those will just get glued over. And if you're making the lid, it's the exact same thing. So just do the same thing. So there we go, all four sides. And as you can see, we're just going to put glue nicely all the way out to the corners, a nice thin layer of glue on all four of those. Then you're going to take your larger rectangle, you're going to glue that to the outside. Once that's dry, flip it over and just glue this liner on the inside, which finishes it off and hides those tabs for you. So here's my nice lid that I already made with my nice liner in there. That's going to fit perfectly. And there you go. So one little tip that I have been doing for a long time, which I actually learned at a workshop at a place called Archivers, is just to take an ink pad and rub it around the edges of a lot of the shapes. I rubbed it around the edge of every single shape just to add a nice little touch. This little pad I picked up in the $1, $2 bin at Archivers, so it's a good deal. I've used it to death, but I like to rub that around the edges of pretty much everything. So something else that I've done on a lot of these cards is I did some embossing with my embossing folder. So if you're not sure what that is, your paper goes inside a plastic folder like this. You run it through an embossing machine, such as the Big Shot by Sizzix is the one that I use, and it adds some nice texture to your paper. So if you could imagine this card without the texture, it wouldn't be quite as cool. So I like to use it a lot, even on some odd shapes like this. Looks really nice. You might not notice it consciously at first, but it adds that really nice subtle touch. So I used my cute coordinating buttons that go with my paper, and I think the best way to stick the buttons on is to use these glue dots here, which I've gotten these at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Archivers, really anywhere. These are the mini ones and the micro ones. To me, it's really the same difference. They're small, they're super sticky, and they're clear. So they really are the perfect thing to stick a button on with. So it's really tiny right there. I just stick my button on, pull it off, it's stuck to there, and I can just really stick that anywhere on my card, wherever I might want to stick it. So I hope some of those little tips and tricks helped you if you haven't heard of them before. And if you've got any tips for me, I would always love to hear them, or see photos of your projects on our Facebook wall or in our forum. So thanks for watching, and happy crafting.